This is the Commodity Scrap Metal Recycling and Economic Report brought to you by Bentley Roll-Off Trailers, Gondola Trailers, and Roll-Off Truck Parts, June 12, 2023. U.S. weekly raw steel production rose slightly to 1.754 million tons, a 78% steel mill utilization rate versus 80.5% last year. This was on slow economic growth. WTI crude oil price fell to $70.17 a barrel on low demand and higher interest rate concerns that would slow the economy. Also, it was on rumors that there is a U.S.-Iranian deal that would increase Iran's oil exports. The U.S. weekly oil rig count rose slightly to 556 and remains low, along with OPEC's low production. The low count supports higher prices, which brings higher profits. U.S. weekly crude oil production rose slightly to 12.4 million barrels per day, the highest in over 3 years, but only slightly over the past 13-month tight range. Oil companies remain cautious about increasing production. Scrap steel number one HMS price fell to about $310 gross ton, but is still settling. This was on low export demand and steady U.S. demand. Hot rolled coil steel price fell to $45.73 a hundredweight, which is $918 a ton on slow U.S. demand. Copper price rose to $3.77 a pound, the highest in a month, on lack of supply concerns and on bets of Chinese economic stimulus. Aluminum price was down slightly at $1.03 a pound at $22.62 a metric ton, as some think record Chinese production could fall. Chinese-made trade surplus dropped to $65.1 billion as exports fell more than imports. Exports fell 7.5% on weak global demand. Sadly, the trade surplus with the U.S., while it fell a bit in May, it actually grew 27.78% year-to-date. U.S.-made trade deficit widened, became worse to $74.6 billion, a 6-month high. We make fewer products in the U.S., so when we spend more, we import more. Exports of oil, pharmaceuticals, and jewelry fell as imports of phones and cars increased. U.S. April new orders for U.S. manufactured goods increased 0.4% from March on strong defense spending. Also, slower but good growth in transportation equipment. U.S. June IBD TIPP Economic Optimism Index rose to 41.7, but it's low. Despite a record number of people working and near a 50-year low in the unemployment percent, 51% of the people in America think we're in a recession. Note that the debt ceiling debate really hurt this index. U.S. May Logistics Managers Index fell to 47.3, with under 50 being contraction. This is the first under 50 in 7 years. It was down mainly due to continued softening freight market. Also, inventory shrank at the manufacturing level, but grew at the retail level. U.S. weekly jobless claims rose to 261,000, the highest in 1.5 years, but under 300,000 is considered good. The jump is usually bad news, but the Federal Reserve likes this. It's a sign that the labor market strength is weakening, which brings less wage inflation. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 114 points to 33,877, the highest in 10 months. This was on the belief the Federal Reserve may not raise interest rates this week. Crush car trailers by Bentley, 48-foot and 53-foot with gates or tarp systems, flatbed, 8-inch drop, double drop, or 16-inch drop. Call Bentley for a quote at 734-722-8100. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.